88 miles per hour. You're gonna see some serious shit.
Should you start a career in property? Do you want to become a real estate agent or perhaps a real estate investor? Is it a good career choice? I get lots of messages all the time, mainly over on Instagram, all asking very similar questions, but they generally go along the lines of, I'm starting in college next year, what should I choose, real estate, business, or computer science? I can't answer those questions for individuals because it comes down to personal choice and your own interest. But it makes me think, would I do anything different if I was to go back 20 years and choose a different course? Or even what would I do now if I was choosing a college course? In this video, I'm going to explore the idea of perhaps going back 20 years, knowing everything I know now, and also what college course I might pick. It's been something like 22 years since I first filled out my CAO form. My first college choice was property economics in DIT. At the time it was about 410 points, I think. At the time, my teachers and my parents thought I was mad, thinking I would get more than 400 points. It pissed me off a little bit that they didn't have faith in me that I would be able to get my first choice. But realistically, I didn't give them any indication that I'd get anything more than 200 points because I was dyslexic and I didn't really perform well in school. But I knew in my heart that when it came down to something important like the Leaving Cert, I would put the effort in and I'd easily get 400 points. Long story short, I surprised everyone got the points I needed for my first choice. Even my dad didn't believe that I got the points I required. He thought I added them up wrong and wanted to look at the results himself so he could add them up. But basically, I got my honours degree, and ever since I've been working in real estate for the last 18 years. Would I go back and change my college course if I had the opportunity? The simple answer would be no. I'm happy where I am. I'm delighted at the people I got to meet, and I really enjoy working in real estate. Even though I did work through one of the biggest recessions in real estate and COVID lockdown, which really does impact someone's career and also their business. But I've learned so much and I've met lots of great people, and I wouldn't risk changing that.
Just get in the car, butthead.
Who you call it butthead? Butthead? How do you know how to do that? Nobody can start this car but me.
Just get in the car, Tanner. Today's your lucky day.
But if I was able to get that time back and go back into the past without losing any of the experience or knowledge I've gained, I definitely would go back. And perhaps I wouldn't choose property economics. I actually think I'd be far happier perhaps choosing art or furniture design. Perhaps wouldn't have made any money in art, but I think I probably could have made a substantial living in furniture design and be quite happy and content in that creative kind of outlet. But if I was going back and I was thinking purely about income and money, definitely I would have looked at some tech related course. But that's on the basis that I'm not losing any of the experience or knowledge that I've gained right now. Before getting into what I might actually start now if I was only starting in college, I think it's important to explain where I think the real estate industry is going to go in the future and what it might look like in 10 or 20 or 30 years time. And by that, if I was only choosing a college course now, I need to consider the future career opportunities that are out there in the industry, or potential career opportunities that are in the industry in the future. The glory of real estate is there is always opportunities. I remember a line back from when I was in college that all businesses are in the real estate business, and that was very true back then. If you're in retail, you needed a shop. If you were an office professional, etc., you needed an office building. Industrial, exactly the same thing. They needed a manufacturing warehouse, etc. Everyone was in property, and location and the building really determined sometimes the success of that business. And the same is still true now. Granted, there's a lot of people that are doing online businesses, but property and location is still vitally important. From data centers to logistical centers to distribution hubs, property is still very important to nearly every single business. And therefore there's always going to be opportunities within the real estate industry for skilled real estate professionals. But I do think there's going to be major changes in the way the public buy, sell and even rent properties in the future. An agent's role might be very different in the future, even if it exists at all. Right now you can log onto an app and swipe open a car in most major cities and drive off. Why can't you do the exact same thing? Open up an app, verify yourself and swipe into a property for a viewing. Why is there need for agents? I think the tech is there already to eliminate a huge amount of roles or jobs that are within the real estate industry from an agent and selling point of view. Realistically, all it might need is someone registering an app, submitting their ID, submitting their details in terms of a buyer, and selecting an appointment to view an apartment or a property. That apartment or property could have an automatic lock that links to your phone, that you get access to it, and you have a bot or a hologram or a droid walking around with you and answering all your questions. And that bot could be preloaded with hundreds and hundreds of answers to any potential question, i.e. where's the nearest school, where's the nearest train station, how much are the taxes, what's the BER. The amount of questions or answers could be linked to Google, etc., and could be easily answered by a bot in terms of any property viewing. Even that bot or hologram could project images of potential future kitchens or bathrooms or colours on walls, etc. The potential is there for tech to take over that role, in my mind. We all know that bidding can happen online. That trend is growing. I think in like 10, 20 years, one agent could potentially do the role of 10 or maybe 100 agents right now with the help of technology. That is something I would have to consider in terms of starting out in college again. I do think there is going to be lots of roles within the real estate industry, but those roles could be a lot different in 20 years' time. I think tech and prop tech are playing an ever greater role in real estate. There still will be lots of opportunities for skilled individuals, but lots of roles will disappear with tech and automation in the future. I've been following blockchain since about 2012. At the time, I didn't really believe much of the hype. In 2012, when I first read about blockchain, it was talking about how it was going to revolutionize the real estate industry. And at the time, lots of tech people were talking about it and how it was going to change and improve the real estate industry. And when I read into some of their visions, I didn't really believe they'd get anywhere, and realistically they haven't got anywhere in kind of 10 years or so, and that's because they tried to solve a lot of problems themselves without getting any buy-in from the real estate industry, and many of those that tried actually failed. A lot of these original technology companies failed because they didn't get buy-in from the real estate industry. Perhaps they didn't even look for it in many cases. Also, in a lot of cases, they were just adding a layer of complication and additional costs. However, over the last 2 years, I've seen some major changes within the technology side of things in terms of the creation of NFTs, the securitized tokens, and I think the real estate industry is now starting to take notice of blockchain and that side of the tech world. And a lot of people within real estate are beginning to see what potential benefits it could actually have. And the tech industry is starting to understand that if they want to solve real estate problems, they need real estate professionals to get involved at the outset and get buy-in from the real estate industry before they even start. A lot of VCs now see the potential in prop tech, and some VCs are even setting up dedicated departments towards prop tech, and there are VCs who specialize in prop tech in the real estate industry. There are companies like Fifth Wall that are a specialized investment fund investing in real estate technology, and Fifth Wall has invested close to about 3 billion or over 3 billion into different projects. Large amounts of investment is going into construction technology, building technology to build faster, to be more efficient and make buildings easier to run and maintain and manage, and also how people interact with those buildings as well. Developers and real estate investment firms have now actually started to invest directly into tech startups at the very early stage, and they're using their own buildings and new developments to test some of those prop tech solutions before they roll them out into the industry. There are a number of buildings in NYC that are under construction at the moment where prop tech is being rolled out within those buildings, where the developers have actually invested in those startup companies and are funding those prop tech companies. Summit One Vanderbilt in NYC is full of new technology, from how people interact with the building to the property and building management software that has been built into it to make it easier to manage and maintain as a property. I believe in terms of prop tech, where we're the equivalent of about 2007. Most of us are walking around with Nokias, a few people might have Blackberries, and Apple have just announced the first iPhone. I think that's where we are in terms of prop tech. A recession might slow some things down, but I think when two of the biggest industries in the world, tech and real estate, start seeing the benefits and the opportunities of working together, I think the possibilities are endless. The prop tech industry has huge potential and it's only scratching the surface now. And for that reason, having a tech-related education with some fundamental understanding of the real estate market could open up huge career opportunities for anyone starting or coming out of college now. And I think that would be my preferred college route right now. And I say that with the mindset I probably had at an 18-year-old, knowing that I was trying to follow the money from a real estate point of view. But if I know everything that I know right now, Realistically, I'd probably choose furniture design. I think I'd be happier and more creative doing furniture design. If you are thinking about a career in real estate and it is because you're chasing money, I think you need to really consider that in greater detail. Go and Google the average salaries of most real estate professionals. You might notice that some of the average salaries are less than what you might expect. They're less than what the average teacher might get. And you'll definitely make more money working in law or tech at the moment. There are always people who make millions in real estate, but they are the few. The averages are far lower than what you might expect in real estate. So keep that in mind when you are picking your college course, that it's not all selling sunset. I think it's also important to remember that if you pick a career outside of real estate in tech, medicine, law, or marketing, etc., you always have the opportunity to invest in real estate. I've seen far more small landlords come from the trades than I have come from real estate agents. These are just my thoughts. Hopefully you've liked the video. Perhaps it opened up more questions than answers, but perhaps you can subscribe to the channel for more answers and questions. But as always, thanks for watching.